It's the second half of the session. If you missed the first half, there's 90 minutes of quality poker entertainment available on our YouTube channel.
It'll make you happy. So will having king queen suited. Everybody loves having king queen suited, right? That's just a good hand.
Yep. It is the very definition of a good hand.
I thought I would go with aces for that.
No, that's a great hand.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. I actually like where you're going with that as far as what is good and what is great. So is king queen the best good hand?
It's a fair question. I don't know. Ace-10 suited might be the best good hand.
Yeah.
It's close.
Anyway, it's not a great flop for the king queen suited for Terminator, and he checks it back. He could take a shot. It's a pretty dry board. I think he should be taking a shot. He's winning, but he should probably be taking a shot.
Well, Joseph's probably not going to bluff on that board, and Terminator gets to win anyway. Whoa.
Oh, that counts as a muck.
Oh, wait, that's a king.
Joseph now sees that he probably could have gotten one through, but...
I got it. Oh. And at the end, I wanted the 9 under, but I didn't want the queen.
These guys aren't typically taking shots in like the one bet went in pre-flop pots.
Not too often.
Yeah. It's not a lot of upside to it.
I mean, you know, there's the pot.
There's a little bit.
You bet half the pot. Doesn't have to win that often.
I only want to win the big pots, Jonathan. I'm a big pot monster man.
How do you think the pots get big? You got to put chips in.
You're just going to let that pass? I called myself a big pot monster man. Speaking of monster men, Terminator is up 2.7K. That is a great session so far.
A lot of it is Digital Dan's money. As you see, Digital Dan is down 2.3 thousand.
Yeah, he bluffed it off against Terminator in the last hand of the last episode with Ace King on a 5-high board, I believe, and Terminator had queens. There are 3 5s on the board.
Oh, yeah, that's correct. Here's a pretty good hand as well for Carter. That's Carter Gill.
I would call this a good hand. If King, Queen suited and Ace 10 suited are some of the better good hands, speaking of great hands, here's queens.
Yes.
Then King 10 suited falls solidly in good hand territory.
Yeah. Digital Dan. I might start calling him Dice-Ital Dan since he has those dice now. Makes sense to me.
It sounds kind of
really
dumb,
good.
kind of stupid. And
really, I like the sound of it.
I don't like the sound.
Folds back to Carter, who is just going to give it up. And
it's tempting to call with a hand like that when you get 3-bet, but it's probably correct to fold.
I think it is. I think you're often dominated, as he was. You're out of position. It's going to be hard to maximize profits, and you're just going to usually be in a lot of Rio-type situations.
Yeah, that's what I like to call the poop zone. You don't want to enter that.
I mean, some people want to enter it, in fairness.
Yeah, what you do want to enter is the Poker Time VIP lounge. As you see, those yellow bracelets grant access. You have to play on Poker Time to get in there, and one time there was cheese.
There was an accidental piece of cheese left in the VIP lounge, and the players got really excited about it, thinking there was going to be food.
Yep.
And there was. That piece of cheese was food.
All right, we got Ryan C. in action here. He was pretty much card dead last episode, and all of the stats will show that. Pre-flop aggression and all that, but he's going to open it up with the King 8 suit to try to get in the action here.
I think this is literally his second raise of the entire night.
And it's real bad timing because Batiste wakes up with Ace King suited in the big blind, and despite Ryan's tightness so far, or perceived tightness, Batiste thinks his hand is too good to just let go 3 ways to the flop.
He's right.
Joseph could call here, but it would be a lot better if they were deeper.
It would be, but they're relatively deep. He does have the button. I think this is a pretty reasonable call. I will acknowledge it's close, but I think it's a call.
Queen Jack suited feels like a slam dunk. So
hey, Joseph.
That's how you do it. One
Batiste,
club.
Yep, 2 backdoors for Batiste as well as the overs. He's probably feels just like he has to continue here.
Downsizes, I like it.
Easy call for Joseph.
Quick call. Usually Joseph takes a bit more time than that.
Let's see if there's oh, that's going to make it harder for Joseph to fold.
Well, if Batiste goes 3 streets, it looks a lot like an overpair.
It does.
But it's going to be tough to fold the turn. Joseph, I think, might fold the river a lot if Batiste goes big, but it's going to be tough to pull that trigger.
The thing is, Joseph can have a 9 also.
He can. It's unlikely. He has maybe 9-10 suited and 8-9 suited. I don't know what else.
Let's see if Batiste decides to take a shot here. He's going to check.
Ace-King can be good against Jack-10 suited and King-Jack suited in hands like that, but other than that, he's usually behind. Sometimes Joseph is going to have a pocket pair, though, and Batiste might want to try to get those off of the pot.
It's a little harder to do now that he checked the turn, but not impossible. Will he decide to turn this into a bluff or attempt to either hope for a check down or bluff catch against Jack-10?
Joseph's got to go for value here now.
Yeah.
Try to get called by jacks or tens or maybe ace king sometimes.
Yeah. Jacks, I think, is the real, because since he has a 10 in his hand,
Yeah.
Jacks is like the prime candidate. Batiste likes to make some hero calls, too. I think this is clear value bet. But he checks it back. Batiste probably was folding.
Probably.
So I think Joseph's right.
I think Batiste's trickiness led to Joseph's check there. Batiste is a guy who we see check in spots that you never expect people to check. He could play aces or kings like that and even go for a check raise, and that puts Joseph in a really bad spot.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, it's also a bad spot if Batiste just calls with those hands, obviously, because you just lose more money.
It would suck to get raised, you know. It would suck to get raised in my spot there.
Definitely on the table.
You chose the safe route.
Well, no, it is what it is.
Oh, yeah.
If you
Oh,
bet, you're
If
gonna,
I go big and he raises, I'm really screwed. And if I go small, it's inducing a raise.
no, you would have gone big, and I would have probably folded.
No, it's gonna go like 140. So it doesn't matter.
Interesting discussion between the players after that hand.
Yeah.
Joseph's thought process there.
The dice hit a 1, makes it 35.
It's
See, it
really-
rolls right off the
It
tongue.
really doesn't have a nice sound to it. It's kind of grating.
You're going to get used to it.
It's grating to the ear.
The word harmony at one point was grating to the ear. But now, we've adjusted.
What?
Charlie's going to have to call with the Jack 10 of clubs. But there are some scenarios where it's very bad for Charlie. Of course.
I think I can guess what you're referring to.
Yeah. Aliens come and kill his family.
Yeah. And look at this flop for Joseph.
Yeah, amazing. Charlie with a gutter.
Joseph should probably just start building a pot right now.
I think so. 75. That ought to do it.
Nope.
Charlie's going to call out of position with no backdoor and 2 hearts on the board. Dangerous.
Got rid of some of the rats and things.
There you go.
Yeah, we do a cat. Helps out.
No help.
No help. Joseph's probably thinking he's behind a lot of the
Yeah.
time here.
But he's going to bet to, I guess, build a pot.
Build a pot, and sometimes you can get a weak queen to fold.
You can also charge hearts, which isn't so
True.
bad. Whoa.
It says...
Oh, that's no, he folded.
He
and then
folded
he's
very
putting
quickly.
He's putting out his blind. I thought that was like a one-chip call there.
Twinge of regret that you had sold all 4 time cards?
Say that again?
Was there ever a twinge of regret that you had sold all 4 time cards during that?
Something very chill.
Oh, he was on
A
income.
little bit. Yeah. On the river.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you're going to call
Something very relaxed.
I know.
How far into the 30 seconds was I?
He has queens, he has ace king. 20-ish. You called right after Brittany gave you the 10 seconds.
I mean, I usually make a quick decision.
I
I mean,
know.
I just I think about the hand as it's playing.
I don't like hanging out downtown.
If all these other jerks would shut up, you could hear Digital Dan and Terminator talking about the queens against ace king hand and how Terminator had sold all of his time cards to Ryan C at the beginning of the session for a total of $20.
Yeah, $20.
And he really could have used one when he was making a big decision when Dan bet over pot on the turn and Terminator had queens.
It's possible it helped Terminator, though, too. Like, he got the 10-second warning, as you always get from our dealer, Brittany, and he made the call. But perhaps if he had given more time, maybe he would have found a fold. I don't think so. I think he finds a call either way, but...
Probably, but it
Hard
kind
to
of
know.
shows that maybe you shouldn't sell all your time cards before you know exactly how long you actually take, having never played in a time game before.
Well, Terminator did say he thinks he acts pretty quickly, and
Yeah.
he did. He acted quickly enough for sure, but that said, it would have been nice to have those there. Look at this, by the way. Lots of people with hands here. The definition of lots of good to medium strength hands.
This is the definition of everything.
You're so complainy.
Oh, I think there was a repurchase of a time card there. Did you see that?
I did.
Across the top of the screen, Terminator bought a time card back.
Do you see what's happening here? We have 2 top 2s against a set of
Oh
eights.
my goodness, I should shut up and
Charlie
talk
and
about this.
Digital Dan both flop top 2.
Wow, this is a beautiful moment for the Lord of Denim.
Digital Dan does have backdoor diamonds.
And Batiste is going to bet his set here. I think he's going to get a lot of action.
Yeah, let's see what Charlie does. Not surprising. Oh, he's
Just
gonna
calls.
Just call.
Dan's probably got a raise here.
I think it's a raise. Boy, this is a great spot for Batiste.
This is a dream spot. This is a spot you get maybe 5 or 6 times in your poker career. Like,
Well, depending on how many hands you play.
bottom set against top 2s, it's pretty tough
It's
to
pretty
get that.
rare. It's pretty rare. I'll give you that. So Dan does put in the raise.
In no limit hold'em specifically.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Batiste could just put in another raise right here.
Yeah, you would think there's a queen jack or a jack 9 or a 7-9 out there that you want to protect against
What are you protecting? Oh yeah, protecting against, of course. That's fair. At the same point, he might be where he's going to lose his customers. Looks like he does just call.
Just call. Just hoping.
What's Charlie going to do? Charlie's got a perfect shove stack.
Does he?
He's got
He
855. The pot's 1,000.
I think Charlie's supposed to move in here.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really reasonably.
I mean, we might be all in right now, guys. All three ways, possibly. I could see it.
It's a weird spot for Dan when Charlie shoves. Honestly, no, Charlie just calls.
No,
Oh,
he did
didn't
move in.
He did move in. Okay.
So now Digital Dan. I mean, Digital can't fold, right? You can't fold.
What are you putting Charlie on? Queen Jack?
Queen Jack, King 8. He could have King 8 for sure. Maybe Charlie just has a good king. I don't know. The pot's got 2,000 in it. It's 1,000 to call.
What is Batiste? Batiste has a lot of draws.
Batiste just called the raise. You
Yeah.
wouldn't put him on a set.
Yeah,
necessarily.
I think Digital Dan has to move in here.
The only thing Digital Dan's losing to is pocket 8s from Batiste, right? Like Batiste, there's one combo of 10s. And Digital Dan does move in. Batiste insta-calls. You can tell by Dan's face. Yeah.
Half this game.
And there it is.
Well, between the two of them, they have 2 outs.
Well, Dan has backdoor diamonds.
Okay, that's true.
Don't they have 4 outs, by the way?
Well, that's
Whoa,
gonna
they have
kill
no
all the outs.
Yeah. They had 2 10s and 2 kings, right?
Right.
Before the 8 came.
No. They had one king and 1 10 each.
Oh my gosh, you're
Yeah.
totally right.
2 outs total.
My bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, Batiste just won a $5,000 pot right there. That's one of the biggest pots in the history of the show.
No, I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I thought it was just yours you pulled back.
2 outs.
It's not.
No, I know. That's if it was close. That's the only reason I was saying that. That's pretty good. Unplugging.
This is what you guys do on poker time?
It's cooler.
Just fun.
I've been on the bad side of those a bunch too.
They had 2 outs to share between the 2 of them.
They got good beer.
How many did they have after the turn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that place on Google Maps.
Hey, here, he had half an
Bring another
extra.
diamond.
Half an extra. Yeah, you had the diamonds. He's only got one more 8. He can't fill up and win. You know what I mean? That's true. That's true. He can't fill up and win, Boomy.
Batiste trying to just be quiet, keep his head down. You know how it is when something like that happens. You're just like,
Of course.
I feel bad, kind of, but
Not really.
I'm happy, but I'm not going to show my
Yeah.
happiness.
You wouldn't know that Batiste was the guy who won a $5,000 pot right there if you're just looking at his
Yeah.
face. You would not know at all. You might have been the guy to lose it, and that's I think by design.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, you're supposed to keep it classy. Both Charlie and Dan seem to take it pretty well too, but man, that's no limit hold'em. Some bad things happen.
Yeah.
No alcohol on
This
Sunday.
is what you're worried about?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about. It's like last fall.
I rarely see Batiste drinking though.
Like I think Sunday they don't serve alcohol or something weird.
In Connecticut? Sounds like Utah or something.
Yeah.
Their food's a little better. They got a really good veggie
I'm
burger,
gonna get 40.
Makes it 40.
which I like meat, but like.
So I think Charlie's got at least 1,000 back.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not even
Here's
worse.
7.
Cool.
Wait.
He's making it 40 with something.
Change the blanks.
Oh.
Was 1K? Did you have?
It's like there's some confusion after that massive 3-way cooler,
Yeah.
which is a bit understandable.
I think the software countered him out, and they didn't realize he had bought back in because he didn't actually have chips in front of him, and so he was seen as a dead hand by the software.
This is
Oh, because I already
yours.
gave. Yeah, I'll just take these back.
Okay.
I'm not.
Give me 1,000.
And it looks like we're just going to misdeal and replay a hand because Charlie doesn't have cards in front of him anymore.
No, I think Charlie won that hand.
Oh, he won.
Yeah,
oh, I
he
see.
raised the button and everyone folded.
Now
so
I
yeah,
get
there
it.
you go.
All right, so by levy metrics, Charlie's even.
For the last 2 hands.
Yeah,
he
1
is,
and 1.
Not overall for
Yeah.
the evening. I don't know what else happened. Who can remember? But
Yeah.
the last 2 hands. It's not weird. So
You know, there has to be.
So how do you recover from that if you're Dan or
Yeah.
Charlie? If you're playing a game as a cash game that you decide it's a good game, I'm going to stay in here. Like I plus EV in this game, but now I'm down. However, Dan's down a lot now. Let's say
Dan's
you're
down over $3,000.
Yeah, you're down. You're down over 300 blinds. You're over 1 buy-in. You're like, well, it's gonna have to really go well for me for this not to be a losing session.
I mean, I think part of it is you can't be caught up in having a winning or losing session when you're down this much. You can only be caught up in playing well and hopefully making some sort of a comeback. But trying to get back, making 0 or even your number, which I think a lot of players do, is a huge mistake.
Yep.
And often results in worse situations. Like, you stay in the game because you think the game is profitable, and because you're emotionally able to keep it together. And if you're not, you should get up and either take a long walk or just leave the game, even if you're down. It's okay to leave when you're down.
Right.
The game is going to be there next week too, or tomorrow. You know.
Yep.
So I think a lot of players chase their losses though and end up having monster losses.
Right. There's a bias out there called unit bias, which which means that as humans, we tend to try to organize things into one unit pieces, and you could consider a cash game session a unit. So a form of unit bias in a cash game might be, what is my overall profit in the cash game? That's the only thing that matters at the end of the cash game. But really, once you take a big loss or have a big win, it's always starting at 0, right? You're always just trying to play plus EV poker. You shouldn't be worried about what the end of the unit results are. You should just be worried about what the future poker is.
Right. All you have is your next hand.
Yeah.
And you're playing it well. That's all you can do.
By the way, Batiste just called with ace high, I think, on the flop.
Wow, we've been caught up on our own thing here.
Well,
yeah.
we had quite a big hand.
We did. That is a scary board.
Yeah,
When
I
the
don't know.
river
I don't know if
comes,
Wonka
scary
can
river.
bet this too profitably.
He's gonna. Oh, he does.
And Batiste folds very
clearly
quickly.
an insta fold. One other thing I want to say, coming back to the tilt thing, there's been a lot of psychological studies which show that you hit a point in your losses where you no longer feel anything. You sort of go numb, and then it's all the same. So that's why people, when they're like gambling, go from losing like $300 to losing $5,000. You know, but when $300 is a lot to them. Because it all feels the same. You don't have any sort of emotional way to like let yourself know to stop, which is hard for people, and it's one of the things casinos take advantage of.
Look at this. Digital Dan actually down 4.3K.
Wow. Oh, that's right. He had 2,000.
Yeah, Batiste now 3.5 up.
Terminator also a big winner, and looking super cool. Apparently, he's got some Instagram followers to, send a little post to there. More important than the hand in the game, apparently. But those sunglasses are sweet.
I mean, you couldn't pull them off.
I could not.
Raise.
Yeah, how long did the last one go, Batiste?
Did Charlie just min raise, or is there a green under there? He min raised.
This may be a sign of Charlie feeling the pain of that.
Yeah,
other
that
hand.
might be. He just wants to play some hands and get involved.
40 or 20?
This one's a lot bigger.
Wonka, I think, has to call here for 15.
Yeah, Joseph's not going to squeeze that often.
No way.
Call.
Even 30, I think Wonka has to fold. Maybe 25 he has to fold, but
Maybe.
20, you just kind of have to call it.
And we've got the backdoor nut flush draw for Joseph and an open ender for Carter. That's all I see on that board.
Yeah.
How are you?
35, so good.
That's
Carter's going to bet it.
Probably just going to be the end of it. And look at Batiste comforting his victim.
Yeah. That's
With a nice shoulder massage.
Batiste looks like he works like on a sharking boat, doesn't he?
A sharking boat?
Yeah, a boat where you go after sharks, like from Jaws. Like he's like the right-hand man. He could be like the Richard Dreyfuss character, except,
I mean,
not a movie star.
He's for sure going to die in the movie, right?
Yeah, not if he's Richard Dreyfuss, but if he's like the helper.
Yeah.
Oh, 100. They all die.
Yeah.
Even in real life, they all die.
And they'll have like a kind of a you're supposed to feel emotional type scene about it where there's kind of like a commemoration, and as the audience you're supposed to connect to the crew because they lost one of their own, and they kind of aggrandize how wonderful that person really was, but truly, was he that good?
He wasn't.
Was he really that good?
So, he was in love with someone? Who cares,
Yeah.
man? Lots of people are in love with people. It doesn't make him a good guy.
She only has a 4-minute in like totality in the movie.
Yeah.
Like you don't connect with her as the audience, obviously.
Anyway,
Played by Annie McDowell.
Carter's going to open 9-8 off here from +2.
Carter's feeling the vibes, I suppose.
Everything's been going pretty well for him.
Joseph just calling the jacks in the small blind.
Wow, he does that sometimes.
Yeah, he likes to deceive. That's Joseph's favorite thing to do at a poker table, I think.
Well,
King high flop, not so good for Joseph, but
he has the best hand, but
nobody's caught up, but it's hard to know that.
Carter's going to take a shot, and I don't know if anyone's going to win except for Carter. It's going to be hard for Joseph to hang on here.
We've seen this from Carter. He's kind of a c-bet machine.
Yeah, Joseph does call, though. He has the jack of clubs in his hand, too.
And it was a small bet.
That's true. It was quite small, in fact.
Will Carter keep going?
I doubt it, especially on that card. That's a
not
bad
a good
card for
not a good
him.
card to continue on.
What story can he tell here?
Well, he's going to, and I think it's supposed to work. Unless Joseph is caught on that Carter just c-bets no matter how many players, and Joseph has, it seems like.
I mean, I would guess Carter has flush draws more than he has like ace-king here when the 6 pairs and he bets again.
check.
Jacks?
Yeah.
He did hit the 9 on the river, which makes it easy to check back as Carter at this point, I guess.
He might have been firing. I think he really might have been firing the river otherwise, and that would have been a really tough spot for Joseph.
Yeah.
But, you just enough showdown value to lose. That's what Carter got there.
Yep.
We've all been there.
I can't stand alcohol.
I like alcohol. That was good.
I think sometimes we overestimate our showdown value in spots like that. We're like, Joseph usually has a better hand than a 9. as played.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the thing is, Joseph could have flush draws though. There was.
Yeah, I suppose he could.
2 spades on the
He
flop.
could.
That's about it though, right?
Oh, I thought you were talking about drinking. I thought you were talking about drinking. Oh, no.
Carter may also be able to say, well, I have shown him value, and also Joseph has not folded, and I bet twice. And so you put those things together. Like if he has 9 high, maybe he's like, well, I got to get him off some flush draws because they beat me. At least I beat the flush draws now. I beat some of that range.
Yeah, that's true.
That makes sense.
Action's here, yeah?
Yeah.
Sometimes socially, but rarely. That would have been so funny.
I pitched 2 down.
Boydie?
This is a good hand for the button.
So it's a pretty good hand.
It's an okay hand.
It's an above average hand. Terminator calling the king 10 out of the small blind.
Red.
And we get a nothing flop for these hands. Gives Joseph the edge to win the hand if he decides to bet. He decides not to.
Terminator checks again. Joseph could bet just repping ace high.
In the way that Carter is a c-bet machine, Joseph is kind of a not c-bet machine.
Well, he's going to bet this river. I got to believe in.
I don't think he's going to get any action.
Nope.
That's
Yeah,
45.
nice button bet there. That's a scary hand these days.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I should have folded that pre-flop.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you even call with that hand?
I know.
Moose penis? What is that?
It's a 4-letter that starts with a C.
Well, I know how, because it
Yeah,
was unsuited. See, there's were suited.
There you go.
So king 10 off, you're safe.
Can't get away from king 10.
I guess king 10 is considered the death hand now.
Fair enough.
Yeah, good reason.
2 people got very badly hurt by it.
Yeah. They're still alive, though. As we see, their names are still on the VPIP board.
Yes, Ryan C. at 13%, but we've seen he's had very little to play. Terminator all the way up there at 44. He's one of the big winners in the game.
It's hard to say, though. It's a tongue twister.
Carter's got jacks.
Ryan having a little fun with the time cards because he can't have fun with the real cards,
Does
I
it
guess.
say hi? He's saying hi to the
Oh, it
viewers.
does say hi. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty great.
Digital Dan going to call the ace-jack off. Against Carter's under the gun range, I think you have to play ace-jack. Carter's shown to be opening quite frequently.
That's probably true. We got to see him. Oh, no, Digital Dan didn't get to see the 9 high. The 9-8.
No, he did
but
not.
Still, Carter's opening a lot. It's certainly reasonable to call with ace-jack there. It's not the end of the world to fold to the end of the gun, but still. Good flop for Digital.
That's a real good flop. And Carter is going to be a c-bet machine, I guess, because he always c-bets.
Yep,
There he goes.
Super tiny. 30 into 75. I don't think Dan can really do anything but call here.
No, probably not.
I mean, I guess he can do all sorts of things, but I think they would be suboptimal. Nice that position. The last jack in the deck would be devastating, though.
Carter's probably going to be mostly done with his hand once Dan calls the flop.
I mean, it's a super dry board, right? What's Dan? Dan maybe could have 9-8 with a backdoor flush draw, or 9-10 suited with a backdoor flush draw. That's
he
about
wouldn't
it.
he wouldn't bet the turn, and Carter has tons of aces in his range. So
First of all, Dan would bet the turn.
oh,
for
with,
sure.
with 8-9.
No, with 9-10. 9-10, so he has a gutter.
with
Gutter
9-10,
and a backdoor.
With 9-10, yes, not with 8-9.
Correct. But that's about it.
Yeah.
There's very little Dan's going to be betting with there that Carter can beat. Because I agree, he's going to check back his medium stuff.
He doesn't have a ton of medium stuff because of the under the gun and plus
Right.
one positions in the hand.
I mean, that's pretty great for Carter. He lost he lost like $65 with jacks.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, you love losing $65 anytime you can.
If you can only lose 60, minimizing your loss is a big part of the game, bro. Every dollar saved is like a dollar won. Think about that. It takes
Do you
some
think?
time and really.
Do you think he could have lost less if he checked the flop? Like you could maybe check fold in that spot.
I don't think you can just check fold jacks. Digital Dan is sometimes not going to have it in bet anyway on an ace high board.
Sometimes.
I think it's very, very easy to exploit someone who's going to check fold jacks there.
Yeah.
So I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
53-31. No, it's right there. It looks like.
Oh, Batiste likes to attack Wonka. Is it time? Nope. But you could see it in his face that he wanted to.
He wants to, but he doesn't really do it. He just likes the idea of it.
He's attacked Wonka a little bit in the past, but yeah, not as much as if you heard him talk about it.
Yeah.
You might expect that he did.
Trying to get Luke
I'll have
fired.
it. Now you know.
Oh, really?
Why don't
I actually don't think Batiste really goes after particular people so much. He talks a good game, but he really goes after everyone about the same.
Yeah, I think that's probably true.
Remember he got that other coach fired in Cleveland.
But it was an inevitable hand.
He went after Hank a bunch because Hank was on his right in our last session, and that didn't work out so well for him.
No, it really didn't. They were all friendly and stuff, and Hank just didn't fold a lot.
Hank would not fold.
Yeah, and it really worked out for Hank. Batiste triple barreled him. Hank just called him down with middle pair. Here's queens for Ryan. This hand is, he's going to play this hand.
Finally got a good hand.
We might make it to a flop this
He's
time,
limping.
Ryan. Whoa. Okay.
Is he going for the limp 3-bet?
I mean, probably, right?
Well, he's going to get the opportunity, it looks like.
Yep.
Raise to 40.
Now I feel like I'm allowed to tell that story.
Fold.
And Carter has queens.
Okay, this is weird.
And Carter calls.
So now Ryan's probably going to 3-bet, and then
has to.
Carter's going to be in a weird spot and probably have to call. Terminator is going to, I guess, make his decision based on sizing.
Carter's going to, I mean, Terminator's almost always going to be able to call this, I would think. Let's see how big this is, though.
175.
It is big.
Pretty big.
Ryan only has 870 back.
Yeah, I think you can fold his Terminator, actually, and he did.
I like that fold.
Does
Carter can't fold. Carter could just move him in with only 870.
He could, but it feels pretty poopy with queens for 100 big blinds.
I mean, Carter could call and hope that, and see like that an ace or king doesn't come, and then pull the trigger too. That's fine.
Yeah.
This is a very weirdly played hand.
It's a spot you don't want to be in as Carter right now. It feels like a little scary. And
well,
2 aces, though.
So that eliminates some of the problems.
Mostly worried about pocket kings right now.
And ace king.
Yeah. A little bit of ace king.
Still more combos of ace king than there is pocket kings.
I don't know if there's value in Ryan betting here. What do you think?
I'm not sure why he's betting.
He bet 125. At least it's small. He can get called by
Yeah.
jacks and tens now.
Yeah. But now he's going to have to check the turn anyway. Maybe this is just a way of trying to control the pot size. Control, like he doesn't have to call.
Oh, and Terminator would have made 4s full there.
Oh. But the truth is, if he showed any action, these guys would immediately shut down. And Terminator wouldn't have called the flop anyway.
Probably the bet doesn't happen on the flop.
It may not have, though. Yeah, Terminator just gets to win a smaller pot.
If Ryan bets again, I am confused.
He can't bet again.
He's either trying to bluff kings out or he's trying to get another street of action from jacks, and he checks it back.
There's no reason to think Carter has kings or jacks.
The king shouldn't change anything. It actually should make both these guys feel a little bit better, if anything. It just reduces the combinations that beat them.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's no king-jack out there.
So if you're Ryan, do you want to bet again? There's no. I mean, the king shouldn't matter, especially from Ryan's point of view. Like, Carter really shouldn't have a king in any way.
Looks like Ryan is going to go for super thin value. I think this is value for trying to get jacks or tens to call.
Yeah, tens. Tens more. He does call.
And it's going to be a chop.
Wow.
4s, guys.
You run so good.
Okay.
Nice hands, guys.
You're gonna get him on that?
That was a weird hand.
See if it's.
You see my 4s?
I did, yeah. I mean, that's like.
I mean, it was my fault. It was weird,
I can't call
but
that pre-flop raise with pocket
it was a weird
fours.
hand. Like,
Who has a
You
queen of
pulled
hearts
that,
there?
right? No?
Like,
I mean, how do I get past the
Yeah.
flop, even if I call the pre-flop?
Well, flop probably checks if you're in.
you have pocket 4s. Yeah.
I mean, how do I call that pre-flop, and then how do I call that post on the flop?
You definitely don't call the flop.
I don't know. I
have 2 aces,
I
I'll
have
pull
no
the
idea
flop.
what happened.
Yeah, your bet was pretty small on the flop.
He may not even bet when you're in there.
The worst thing about that hand is that Ryan's little art that says hi got messed up because he got all kind of like excited stacking his chips.
Maybe he'll fix it, though.
Yeah, I hope
he
so.
might fix it. That was a strangely played hand. That could have gone so differently pre-flop.
I like that Ryan's the type of player who goes for thin value on the river there.
Yeah, that's cool. Because he thinks Carter's betting an ace and doesn't really have any kings.
Yeah.
He's probably right in both cases. Here's Batiste with king, queen.
The break, Jonathan.
I lost some black chips on that one.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, queens again.
Back-to-back queens for Ryan.
It says call, but he raised to 150. We heard the announcement
Yeah.
from our dealer, Brittany. Batiste looks like he's going to call.
Huh. I'm a little surprised. Ryan has not done anything really out of order at all.
And Charlie's going to overcall with
Wow.
the ace-3 suited.
With only 830 back, that's optimistic.
He has the most equity. And Batiste now has the most equity as he flops a king.
By the way, Charlie did not have the most equity. Ryan had the most equity pre-flop.
It said Charlie had the most equity on the
That's
software.
clearly wrong.
It gave him 38% of the equity. Must be based on folded cards and stuff.
Maybe. Even so, that sounds wrong.
This
anyway.
is a terrible board for queens now. Either opponent could have a jack or a king.
Yep. Batiste does have a king, and he is going to bet for value. That'll do it for Charlie, I got to believe. Is it super small? That looked really small.
Looks pretty small. 80.
Yes.
Very small. Now, I
Whoa.
don't think Charlie can do anything about it anyway unless he decides to just kind of go bonkers. He's not really deep enough to make a multi-street move, though.
It sounds like he's thinking about just raising right now. I mean, what's Batiste supposed to do if Charlie raises? Is he just going to call?
Batiste would probably have to fold if Charlie raised, but the sizing might make it so Batiste can decide that he was inducing anyway.
Yeah. Like if Charlie had clubs here, he might be raising anyway.
Yeah.
Batiste could also say, well, he's only got $1,000 back, and I'm the big winner of the day. I can afford it.
Unit bias.
Yeah.
Charlie folds. I think that's probably the right decision.
Yeah.
Ryan, of course, has to
for
call.
For 80, he just has to call. But he's usually beat.
Another king. Okay, Batiste has this on lockdown.
It's a good card for Ryan, though. It makes it less likely Batiste has a king, at least. But Batiste might bet a king or a jack here for value, which is problematic.
Yeah, also all the draws miss, which is good for Ryan.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes for it all. I think that might not work out.
Ryan only has 840 back at least. But the pot that's like 2 times the pot.
He can beat all the draws. They all missed.
Batiste is hoping he's got aces? No, he would have bet aces on the flop usually. So queens is really the thing to be targeting here?
Or an ace-high hero call. I mean,
yeah, okay.
Ace-queen.
Tens isn't going to call anyway.
Yeah.
So it's ace-high or queens or maybe aces once in a while. That's like it.
Tough spot for Ryan.
Maybe he's hoping Ryan's still playing pocket eights. Probably not. He 3-bet from the big blind. Not going to do it that often with eights. Well, he doesn't have quads, Batiste.
Unless this is just the
sickest.
A 6 low roll. I would love to see that. And Ryan lets it go. And Batiste is having a great session. Just over 14K in the pot. The turn is the 4 of diamonds.
Hey, what is that? Speaking of turn, coming around the mountain? Is that the Nitrogen Sports Poker train?
I think they did buy a train recently.
If you listen, you can hear its very familiar jingle. And choo-choo. Wait, there's the jingle. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
Wow, that's the weirdest ad ever all of a sudden. Anyway, Nitrogen Sports Poker Room is, they let us do ads like this.
They
Perhaps
do.
because they don't listen to them.
Free reign, baby. Nitro, nitro, nitro. Nitro, nitro, nitro.
So it didn't hurt, the face stretching over the train.
Less than you would think. I mean, I won't say it was like a walk in the park, but you know when you go to the dentist and they do the anesthesia? Like that really hurts.
Yeah.
It was like that. It really hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt a lot.
Yeah, and
it was surprisingly painful is what I'm saying.
They stab you in the mouth with needles.
Blindingly painful.
But it was worth it because
the train.
Yeah.
That image of the train is special.
Choo-choo.
Oh, we love that ad. We're never going to stop loving that ad. I don't know if I'm going to find someone to commit to, but man, that ad, they got me forever. I'll put a ring on that ad. I'll tell you that.
It makes you overcome your deep-seated commitment issues.
Yeah. Sometimes you just know, Grant.
Yep. Digital Dan with, I think, his favorite hand.
Yeah.
The 4 deuce.
Honka's got to be thinking about should he 3-bet, right? There's nothing else to be
he's
thinking
never
about here.
folding, obviously.
Of course. It's a reasonable 3-bet spot for sure.
It's cool. It's going to work for sure, unless Dan goes completely bonkers.
We have seen him do it with 4 deuce before. He got queens to fold once.
That was against Snuggie, who was talking shit to him all day, so it was a little different.
Dan looked like he had forgotten he even had a hand there. He was just on his phone and
I like
folded.
I like Wonka expanding the big blind 3-betting heads up range. I feel like that's a little piece of poker that people have kind of lost that can be useful just to like pick some hands out of the big blind that you're going to 3-bet when the button opens instead of just calling all the time with all of your marginal hands.
Yeah. 9 suited is a pretty good one to just call with, but it's good. But you want to be all across the board too, so you can like make big hands no matter what the board is when you get called by that 3-bet. So it's not if the board comes 9-9x, you don't want Dan to be able to know that Wonka can never have a 9.
Right,
this
of
way,
course.
Wonka can have that kind of stuff.
And the first time it happens, you get paid pretty big probably.
Yeah, for
if
sure.
Dan has anything.
For sure. And then after that, it's just really hard to play against him.
Yep.
Carter with the king 3 suited. He's very much opened it up.
Ryan says no thank you, except the 3-bet is small enough that Carter might still call.
Nope.
He lets it go.
He's out of position. Well, that's the second straight 3-bet with 9-8 suited. Is he going to show it? He shows it.
There's a box.
I saw you trying to peek at it.
I had you beat.
Dan, is that the Declaration of Independence?
Three bet that crash.
I'm going with the Magna Carta now.
Okay.
Since I've been asked too many times if it's like.
It's a lot of Hancocks.
It is a lot. Well, Hancock didn't sign the Magna Carta, I'm pretty sure.
Looks like a word.
I think they're talking about Digital Dan's shirt.
Yeah.
You can't really see from the camera distance, but I believe there's a bunch of cursive words on it.
Indeed, there are.
So I guess they're saying it's the Magna Carta.
Well, they were asking if it's the Declaration of Independence. Dan's claiming the Magna Carta. I'm going to say it's not the Magna Carta, and I'm laying minus 120.
That's an amazing price. I have to take you up on that. Give me 600.
Done. 600 to win 500. Done.
That's true. Fist pumping works.
I can't believe you took that.
I can't believe it either. I lose my mind when I do this show.
Hey, Ryan's all of a sudden getting hands here.
Yep.
Maybe it's because he got a beer.
Always helps.
How would you know, Levy?
I watch other people.
Oh, okay.
Terminator's going to defend with the King 5.
Well, better hope there's no king.
Well, maybe a 5 will join the King. Hey, there's
well,
a King.
There's a king and 2 sevens.
5 ain't going to help.
Terminator's going to lose a little money.
Yep. Ryan is going to c-bet. It's one of those spots where you see bet and you're like, I mean, I just never win.
$15.
There you go. He's trying to keep the entire range in, basically.
It is a super dry board, and it looks like it's going to induce a raise from Terminator. This is working out beautifully. Although Terminator could have a 7 here, but once you size it like this, you can never even begin to consider folding.
I think it's just I'm calling, and I'm going to have to hang on. Especially there's no draws of any kind. Terminator could be bluffing. Turns out he's got top pair. Oh, that's
going to kill action.
Death card for Terminator. Wait a second.
Well, now I'm not sure what Terminator's going for with this bet.
Now I think he's trying to bluff King Queen off the hand.
Yeah, that's got to be what he's doing, right? That's the only thing that makes sense.
This is a card. I mean, Ryan wasn't going to fold anyway, I got to believe, but
he can't love that Terminator decided to bet when the ace came.
Terminator's supposed to be scared of that spot, and instead he's not. Is Terminator going to give up?
If he bets again, he's definitely trying to get a king to fold.
Yeah, because he's chopping with King Queen. He doesn't want to do that. He wants the whole pot.
I'm literally not butthurt about that.
He is going to take a shot. It's not crazy.
He's betting so small. I think it's more of a blocker bet than a bluff, and I don't really like that as much.
Let's see how Ryan responds to this.
I think he's supposed to raise.
Problem is, it's so hard to get value even when you raise. Like, even if you're right, it's so hard to get value. It sucks.
It does suck. That's the effect of the blocker bet. It does have some positive effects. I just think this plays better as a bluff for Terminator if he's going to bet than a blocker bet.
I agree. I think this should be a raise. I agree with you. It looks like Ryan agrees as well. He makes it 250, and you have to like hope Terminator like turned an ace by accident. You know what I mean? Where he's bluffing with an ace and got there.
The reason this might work out for Ryan is the sizing that he chose in the flop. He bet 15, and that kind of threw a wrench into everything and made it kind of like a pride pot, you know?
I mean, maybe, but he still called the raise and called the turn bet on a King 7-7 ace board. I like this fold by Terminator.
Terminator
for
makes
sure.
the right decision.
Don't worry, I'm here to cover that, Charlie. I got that.
Yeah, I think Terminator went from raising for value on the flop to bluffing turn and river.
Yeah.
Or bluffing turn and blocking river.
Yeah, it was a very strange series of bets.
Although really, bluffing turn, it's like, it's never going to work, right?
No.
I have to stand up.
But I think that's what was going on.
Don't do that.
I got it.
Don't put the beer on the table. Don't do that.
Okay, so
her chair's broken.
You guys can really maybe freeze the image here and do a nice zoom in on Dan's shirt.
Find out if that's the Magna Carta or not.
Find out if Grant is up $500 or down $600.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can see Magna Carta-like elements to it from here even.
Yeah.
You could. I'll let you buy out for $250.
No chance, man. I go down with the ship every time. There's no buyouts. You know that.
The Greenstein method?
The Greenstein method?
Run it once.
Yeah, that's right. Run it once. I don't want an escape drawer because the sweetest of all is when you want to buy out and you don't and you end up winning the bet. That's the best. That's the stories you tell for the rest of your life, bro.
Meanwhile, we thought number 15 was going to be the one, but
yeah, we knew.
Looks like the interns are messing up again, and we're just gonna kind of look at stuff for a second.
Yeah, sure. Let's just turn on the Nature Channel.
Jackson's gone. He was number 14.
What's this guy's name?
It's not a guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Stephanie.
Well, in fairness, the haircut is very.
I mean,
it's a short haircut.
It's dark in the corner where we put the interns.
I'm sorry, Stephanie.
But are you though? After she already messed up.
I'm sorry about.
We're 38 minutes in, Stephanie.
You know, in fairness, compared to Jackson, you're like hitting it out of the park.
Well, yeah, but
don't say it. It's bad. I know.
It's still bad.
Yeah. All right, Charlie's got 6-3 off and He's trying to decide if he's going to play it, I guess.
Also, did you notice no bear claws in the donuts today?
Of course I noticed.
And who do you think brought the donuts?
I was hoping it was Jackson.
It was
'cause we were gonna
Stephanie.
fire him
It
anyway.
was Stephanie.
Did I notice if there were no bear claws? Yeah, that's a good question. Oh my God. These are just running jokes we have now on this show, and if the more you listen, the more you're rewarded.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, it's okay. Keep watching the show. Over the next 3 or 4 episodes, you'll be like, oh, I get it now. I get that intern joke.
Consider it like gaining experience points.
Yeah, just like that. And we got Jack 10, King 10, and the pocket nines.
Joseph gets outflopped by the sickest of cards, the 10, which is shared by his opponents.
Digital Dan in the best shape right now. A king or a jack on the turn would make the hand interesting. Joseph's just going to throw it away. He's right to do so. There's no way Batista's going to fold yet. However, well, I don't know if Digital Dan's going to bet again anyway.
I don't think he is.
Yeah, it's probably
Seems
going to go check,
pretty
check.
unlikely that Dan would bet again now.
How much you buying for on this one? I don't know.
About 10,000 starting chip.
Digital Dan really taking his time here.
Checks it back. I don't know if he can even go for value on the river.
I think he can.
Well, definitely can now.
He should go for value on the river.
I think
I think a brick river he could go for value. Batista's usually going to bet a queen.
Yeah, but he could have ace-10 also.
That's true. But he was in the big blind. He can have lots of tens.
In the morning, there was a little bit.
It's a close spot, I think. But
Anyway, the
now
king-
it's
the
not
king
a-
changes
It's
it.
not a close spot now. Batiste is just taking his time to try to make it so Dan doesn't bet, I think.
Or maybe he's trying to think maybe I can bluff a queen here when the king comes because he could have rep king jack or something.
King jack, yeah, maybe. King 9.
It's asking a lot, though. And Digital Dan, of course, is going to bet for value. Have to imagine that.
I don't think he's going to get called
Nah.
on this card. It's a pretty bad card for Batiste's hand.
Because king jack does get there and Batiste knows it. So does jack 9.
$10, that's
Offsuit. Nice hand. Nice.
Digital Dan shows he can win with the king 10, not just get destroyed by it.
Yep. Although
With it, I should say.
I think he would like to undo all his king 10 hands for the session so far if he could.
Well, if you think about it, though, he's
It's 1 and 1.
Yeah, he's 1 and 1.
Oh,
It's even Steven.
I always mess up that math. So
Yeah.
1 and 1. That means what percentage of the time did you win?
You
Like
won
40, 45?
No, it's 50. It's 50.
It's not like 52?
No.
Oh.
It's 50.
Okay, 1 plus 1 is 2.
Yeah.
And then you divide that by
50.
5.
You divide it by 50. Okay. We're back.
Good at math.
I don't find that joke funny.
You don't watch the show, bro.
What's the show?
Carter actually had a moment of thinking about. He's like, maybe I'll play the jack 9 off.
I mean,
under
he
the
likes
gun.
to play a lot of hands, that
Yeah.
guy.
Are you having fun, Charlie?
I would love to watch that show.
Joseph looks like he's going to get a little squirrely with the jack 7 off here.
But Terminator is going to play the hand in position.
I think I
against
prefer
him.
a 3-bet from Terminator there with the blocker.
I think I do too. But it's not the end of the world to call.
No.
It's okay. You're in position. You're deep. You and Joseph are both deep effectively. It's fine. You bring in Batiste. It's not the end of the world. He's deep as well. And look.
That is
looky.
quite a flop for Terminator.
That is quite a cookie.
Yes. The
For
only other
Terminator.
thing that's going on is Charlie has a 6, so
Yeah.
it's not going to get him much action except for Joseph's C-bet.
This is probably going to be just a call for Terminator too, I would think.
He has showdown value and the nut flush draw. The problem is getting action when you hit your flush.
Of course. But the problem is if you raise right now getting action, period, you're usually behind.
Yeah, you're definitely behind if you get action now.
Well, I mean, you're trying to get action from other flush draws.
Yeah, I guess like there's combo draws out there and king high flush draws that
And
could call you.
maybe once in a while you can fold out a better ace, but
I don't think
I like
Joseph's
a call.
folding a better ace.
He does. Terminator does raise though, and Joseph has nothing.
Huh?
I mean, you didn't want their money in there? Like, why right now?
That's a good question.
You gonna show me a card or no?
Man, I can't
Whatever you want.
one of yours.
Okay, show me a card.
Oh, I thought you meant a I thought you meant
I mean,
Joseph must be considering raising to be going into this.
Has to be considering that, right? He normally doesn't take a long time and do this kind of stuff.
I decides against it.
He's thinking maybe Terminator's just on a flush draw and he can re-raise him off it.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing to think about, even. But
And Terminator shows the ace-4 of spades.
Joseph very happy he did not. make
Yeah,
that play.
I don't
It
think
gonna-
Terminator was going to fold that hand.
Maybe eventually he would have, but it's going to take re-raise, bet, which means all in usually by the river.
Assuming Terminator doesn't 4-bet the flop.
That's true. Or get there by the or improve, because
Yeah.
then he's never folding.
It's also you don't want to have the jack of spades in your hand when you're Joseph if you want to try to bluff him off a flush draw.
That's right. That's a really good point. You want to have a little more equity in the hand than almost zero.
Yeah, pretty much nothing.
Yeah. At least a gutter.
At least not real unhappy if somebody
Is that how it works? The
comes
board
over the
pairs and
top
you're
of
like,
him.
I lost.
Reasonable
I mean, I slowed down.
We try to figure out what.
Digital Dan.
He's got him. The bullets. We see him limp in this spot a lot.
Let's see if he uses the dice. Sometimes he uses the dice.
No, that's usually when there's action
Yeah.
in front of him, right?
Yeah, that's true. Like if he's gonna 3-bet or not.
This is usually a fold for Wonka.
Yep.
Disciplined fold. A lot of players. Oh,
Whoa.
all right. And just a
Wow.
call from Joseph.
So unlucky for Digital
And look at
Dan.
all these pocket pairs.
Is Batiste gonna raise? If Batiste raises, this is gonna be crazy.
Looks like
And
he just called.
calls. So close to greatness.
There's a lot of sets to dodge here now for Dan.
Charlie has just
Oh,
3-bet.
he's 3-bet with 5
He's
high.
squeezing. He's squeezing. Bad timing, Charlie.
Oh, and Carter is considering something with the 10-4.
This is amazing for Digital Dan. Look how this is shaping. Okay. Even so, this is now he gets to get it in with Joseph.
Oh yeah.
I was actually like, I think I put
Explicit
out one
tells
too many
that
blacks. He
we're
just
having
stuck in
gotten
my
out
hand.
Charlie, what do you?
None of the guys.
Charlie's got 1.5K back.
Show, so right now.
20,000 or something.
Nice to hear.
Give or take.
Yeah.
I just want you to roll the dice and see what happens.
Okay.
It's a good time to roll the dice.
He's like, over a 3, I'm calling.
You do kind of worry when you play these things a lot, somewhat. I remember I used to try to think of like variation plays, like for this specifically. But I don't know, then they didn't come up, and I was just like, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't play too weird, I don't think it really matters too much. But
Really milking this one.
like someone like me, like
7 or
I play
higher, I
really
make it
weird,
600. Otherwise, I call.
Wow.
Call.
You can't see the dice, but there they are. He only a 4. He only went 7 or higher. He's really trying to protect the strength of his hand a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Or hide the strength of his hand. Joseph still has a great spot to put in a re-raise now.
Yeah, I think this might go in anyway.
There's 625 out there. How do you not? There it
Yeah,
is.
he puts it in.
Of course.
It's a very big shove, but I mean, it's all kind of the same.
And who cares? There's $600 out there.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just let everyone see the flop.
All right, Batiste, let's move along here.
There's no chance
You're
Batiste
never
is
calling with 7s.
Charlie 3-bet. Digital Dan talked about 3-betting or 4-betting and only rolled low, so he didn't. And then Joseph just shoved. 7s are never, ever, ever going to be good. You're not up against three ace kings usually. That's the only way they could be. Wow,
he's using
taking
a time card. Wow, that's actual value that he's losing by. He's absolutely going to fold, right? There's no way.
Maybe he isn't. He just expended some resources. I guess hoping he's in a flip with Joseph and his reshove would push everybody else out. Sounds crazy to me. Look how sad Charlie is, by the way. I just burned another $255 because Joseph just moved it.
But I got to keep it together for the integrity of the hand,
Yeah.
which is the right thing to do.
Which is great. Batiste may have picked up that Charlie's not interested in the hand, though, which is maybe why he's looking so intently.
This sounds like the exact same question we just asked Randy like a minute and a half ago.
I don't understand what's going through Batiste's mind here.
This feels like such a straightforward fold to me. He's just trying to have the biggest win in the history of poker time, I guess. But
I guess he would definitely have that if he called and won somehow.
yeah,
I don't. Oh, now Charlie's.
he's just pretending.
Yeah.
Digital
Same.
Dan, of course.
2 or higher, I'm all in.
2 or higher, he's in.
2 or higher, Dan's all in with the aces.
Why do I keep hitting the best times to do this?
This is very unlucky for Joseph.
Look at Joseph.
I felt like you might have it.
You should have said 1 or higher.
No, I know. I was like,
bet you I bet you I flop
I'm all
straight.
screwed up. I like to fade.
How am I ever?
So far, so good for Dan.
Nice and clean.
And that's going to help. Dan's still going to be down a significant amount, but can you imagine if Joseph hit a king there, how just devastating that would be for Dan after already being down 4.3K?
Dan would be down, yeah, like almost 7,000.
Yeah.
Might be the biggest single game loser in the history of the show.
You just reverse the hands, they probably get it in anyway.
Yeah,
you know?
I think so.
How did we get to
Pocket
me?
pair.
At 10-4
Get
suited,
in there.
Hands.
at 10-4 suited, I was like,
Get in there, everyone.
Carter's lying about his hand, by the way.
No, he did. Didn't he have
10-4
10-4?
offsuit.
Oh.
Even in a hand that he didn't make a move, he's like, this is what poker players do. They lie and give you a
Yeah.
slightly better hand no matter what.
That's true.
Even though it didn't matter at all. He said suited when it was unsuited.
well, this, I just be
Oh,
lighting,
I thought
I would have been lighting $700 on fire.
I didn't realize how fucking.
That way
nitty
might
this
have
is.
finally gotten.
Carter would end up making the best hand, but it's hard to imagine he would have ever been able to actually get all his chips in the middle to do so with the kings and the aces in front of him. Even if he put in the 5-bet, it wouldn't have mattered.
You hated that dice, though. So much.
Actually, it would have been a 4-bet.
It's pretty interesting thing with the dice. Like sometimes Dan's opponent's sweating when they're bluffing. Like, oh, I hope he rolls low so he folds. And that time Dan's sweating it. Like, I hope I roll high so that I can raise.
A while ago, but
It's a pretty cool thing. I've never seen anyone do anything like this in a poker table openly.
I think this is going to become a thing. I think
yeah.
Digital Dan might have started a thing. I think a lot of you people are going to start doing this.
I mean, it's cool. It's just straight up cool. He's been doing this for about a month or so, I think. And he tells me that his opponents have no idea what to do with this. They're just completely confused all the time.
And as you can see, Dan is not on the bottom anymore. Batiste's still on top. Charlie now having the most pain.
Yes.
Ryan C has climbed back a bit. He was having a pretty bad session. He's climbed back a little bit.
Joseph also getting his clock cleaned right now. He just lost a huge pot though.
Yeah,
that was most
in
of it.
the classic no limit cooler that happens all the time.
And that one went in such a way that I don't see how Joseph could ever not shove kings there.
Or effectively shove.
Yeah.
I'm like, I never want to be in this weird game theory spot again. I want a game theory weapon in return.
I'm unplugging, guys.
And I'm like, that's when I started using the dice as a card protector in case I need them.
Dan,
I like it.
I like how your shirt matches your hair right now.
Yeah, you probably want the
It is like your hair looks like a Magna Carta.
Sweet. Magna Carta hair.
Bit of a non sequitur from Charlie there.
Yep.
Maybe a little punch drunk.
Maybe. Charlie's taking it on the chin a little bit here.
He's got these three Dan.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Nick would know a thing or two about the Magna Carta.
Punch drunk is just like shell shocked, right? It's like an old word for a term that we now know is something else, right? Punch drunk is like, oh, you have CTE.
I mean, it's not. No, it's just a concussion. It's not CTE.
Okay, a concussion that will eventually lead to CTE.
Possibly.
I spelled it wrong. Oh, I got it.
You're seeing the show.
You don't know what it's pretty amazing that
Would you have an idea?
4 times now,
It's
3 times now in 5 days.
No,
It's
I
used the
didn't
dice
know
with
that.
aces and kings
I know.
and
He
Got a talkative table this time. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're real quiet. Sometimes it's like an opium den.
Here, Dan was saying this is the 4th time in 5 days with the dice. He's had aces against kings roll that and ended up getting it all in. And like,
wow.
I mean, the kings are always going to get in with them anyway, probably. But
it's dice.
It's tough.
It is tough.
if you ever have any chance of getting away, it's harder when the guy's saying, sometimes I'm calling and not re-raising, you know?
Oh, when you had the aces. What number did you roll?
The shove
I
seems
rolled
more
on,
like ace
yeah,
king
I rolled.
than kings.
That's
He
like
was
a
like,
three
yeah,
or
he was
4.
like, if it's over a 3.
Terminator opening it up with a 10-6 suited here, hoping clubs don't come.
Did he say over?
They do not. Well, one does, but
Over to,
this is a good board to continue on.
Dude, what if you
I
rolled a
said 2
2
or more. I'm all.
Okay, I was gonna say, what if you rolled a 2? I would have been. You know.
Then we would have gotten it in on the flop.
There you go. Good point. He doesn't really have a choice. Though.
Dan could call once here, but he could also just give it up.
Yeah. I think it's both are reasonable. If Terminator's going to the kind of guy who's going to keep on firing, giving it up now is fine.
Yeah. And he got that nickname for a reason, so he might just be the guy who keeps on firing.
Maybe, although if he was, wouldn't we call him the guy who, shoots a lot, shoots
We're
things?
trying to be a bit more concise and poetic.
Yeah.
I ordered a
Good contribution.
Good talk.
You really nailed the announcing.
If we rename him though,
to the guy
something
who
longer
shoots and fires a lot and stuff.
Well, then it would be easier for people to make decisions because Terminator can mean lots of things.
Charlie, we got a bluff through. We got a bluff.
I think we did call him Terminator though. I mean, he wanted to be called Terminator, but I think we liked that partially because he was just taking shots constantly, right? Yeah. So that's cool. Here's Batiste. It's 5 deuce time. Batiste is up a lot of money, and it's time to.
He's drinking, feels good.
Have some fun. And we'll see. Sometimes having fun is very costly, but sometimes it wins you lots of money.
Yep.
Encore day.
Oh, in case you want to raise.
Wonka just calls here. I thought he might put in the old 3-bet with Batiste being pretty wide, Charlie kind of off the rails.
These two are both, you're staying, right? You're staying put?
Good flop for Wonka.
Yeah, I mean, not much for anybody else.
It checks through, and a 3, which is safe.
Wonka might not be hyper aware of it, but Batiste has 3s in his range as we see.
Yeah.
Still, the king-queen is very likely to be the best hand.
Wonka decides just time to protect against the gut shots and things like that, and it's over in a hurry.
Good bet. Good bet. Betting on me to win.
I don't.
I don't like how disgustingly dirty these chips are.
You know how I think somebody just said good bet to Wonka. It's always kind of weird, right? When you just like c-bet and somebody folds and they're like, good bet.
Yeah.
It's like it's not like an important bet. It's just a small bet, c-bet.
People don't say that very often, though.
I feel like I encounter it quite frequently.
It must be something about you.
Maybe.
No one says that to me.
People
when
just
I
want to
c-bet.
talk to me. I'm just one of those guys.
Yeah. No one wants to talk to me. That's true.
Absolutely.
We know that.
The one that's actually a bit more annoying to me is when somebody who wasn't in the hand says good bet, and to the person who lost the hand by betting because the person who is saying good bet would have made the best hand had they called.
Right, but they're saying it to the person who lost.
Because they just want to tell everybody that they would have made the best
And
hand.
they're not even, they don't really care who won or lost.
Yeah.
Like, if it actually was a good bet for that person, yeah.
That's super annoying. Don't do it.
Charlie, by the way, spells his name with an L-E-Y. That's not normal. That's unusual.
What is normal?
Well, no E. No E would be normal. That's how Charlie's normal.
Or an
spelled.
IE, perhaps?
Yeah, or an IE.
Meanwhile,
not just E.
Meanwhile, Joseph outflops him, and Charlie just can't catch a break this session.
Yeah. Look, as he's talking, he bets. That did not work. That was a good try, Charlie. It seems very casual. But,
well, now he's picked up some equity. If a queen comes, Joseph's in trouble.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be very costly, especially a queen of non-spades. There's two queens out there that are really deadly for Joseph. Charlie bets again.
I like that. Pick up some equity. Keep going.
Joseph just knows he can't fold a hand this good in this spot, even though he's not doing great against Charlie's value.
Both of the guys in the hand are sad, by the way. They're both losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
Another 9.
It's a pretty safe card.
Charlie can go real big to get Joseph to fold. Other than that, yeah, he's just going to give up.
That's reasonable.
You been around lately? I haven't seen him in anywhere lately.
Yeah, you'd have to really size it up. 355 in the pot, maybe about 400, something like that.
That would probably work.
I think it would work the first few times anyway.
Yeah.
And then it would stop working pretty quickly. It always sucks when you're the guy who's sizing it really big to get the fold and they just don't fold.
Yep.
Doesn't feel good. You're like, yeah, you win with whatever you have.
It's kind of what happened to Batiste against Hank.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That, of course, is in previous session.
Yep.
There's a great episode called Hank Doesn't Fold, I think. Is that right? Don't Bluff Hank. It's called Don't Bluff Hank.
Well, that's what the thumbnail says, but
Okay.
it's like Hank is not a man to bluff or something like that is the name.
That's right.
Where's the Vince fold?
Vince? Vince is misunderstood.
Fold.
You and Vince?
I don't know. I don't understand it.
Well, we got a blind versus blind confrontation coming. It looks like Joseph's not going to just let this limp. Decides he wants that $10. Terminator just lets go of the computer hand, as all of the smart people call it in 1988.
That's right. Even 94, I think we were calling the computer hand pretty comfortably. Notice how I include myself in the smart people.
Yeah, and you weren't playing poker till what, 2005?
2003 is when I first learned
So
about
94,
poker.
you were calling Queen 7 off the computer hand?
Yeah, I went back in time.
Yeah. Okay.
So I did it. I went back in time. Not yet. I'm going to go back in time and do it, but I know I did because
It's
time
all
travel.
simultaneous if time travel exists. What do you mean by not yet?
Well, I mean, I'm in this moment with you. I'm talking about so
Is anybody in any moment?
Your understanding of time is so primitive. I'm trying to talk to you the way, I might talk to a caveman. Fire good.
I don't speak
Mammoth bad.
How stupid are you? Caveman doesn't speak English.
They will after I'm done with them.
You have to use symbolism.
I'm going to teach them English. That's part of it. How stupid are you? This is my point.
All right, Joseph is just going to win the pot.
This is part of what you get when you listen to Poker Time or watch Poker Time or listen to our podcast or anything. We're gonna talk like this to each other. So if you don't like that,
yeah,
turn the volume down.
deeply dislike each other.
Keep watching the show. Turn the volume down a little bit. Maybe hit the fast forward button just for like 10 seconds.
We don't care. Just give us the views.
Give us the views. I care a little bit. I want you to like the show. I want you to come back. I want you to keep liking it. I want you to be a fan. I want you to send us money. That would be great. Money's good.
Yeah, send us some money.
Money, food, materials of any kind really would be
Yeah.
great. Wood would be wonderful. Just some lumber.
Winning lottery tickets.
Make sure buy the lottery tickets, make sure they're winners, and then send them to us. Actually, you get the money and then send us the money. That way you pay the taxes.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Because we don't want to burden us with that.
Yeah, that's
not
too
fair.
much work.
Work. It's also just costly.
Well, we get the same amount of money either way, right?
Do we? I want the full amount.
Oh, so they have to like give us the tax amount too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good deal for
Of course,
us.
it's a good deal.
All right, so we got a hand here.
Okay.
Digital Dan with King Jack has the only kind of real hand here. Terminator
Oh,
kind
Charlie
of.
did call in the big blind with Queen
It
Nine.
looks like he did,
I
yeah.
thought I saw him do it.
And nobody loves the flop. Digital Dan does have a gut shot to the nuts here.
He should be betting this board, I think.
Yeah, especially with the equity.
Yep.
I don't think anybody's going to mess around unless Terminator gets weird.
Yeah, 15 to 110 is just over in a hurry.
Who wants to get us? Can we?
They don't want to.
Can we run this for?
I will say, looking at Ryan's sweatshirt more, it just looks like a goat head to me now. It's a normal goat, I think.
Yeah, you're referring to last episode. You were saying you thought it was the leader of the satanic worshippers cult or something.
Like the
Church
statue
of,
that
Church
they
of
use.
Satan.
Yeah, the statue. The head of the statue is what I was thinking. But now I'm thinking it's just a normal goat.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That's what I've always said.
You were saying that.
Who's smart now?
The smart one is the one who can change given new evidence. So me.
That's the only definition, huh?
Yep.
All right.
So you give me new evidence. It's the only
It's
definition.
the same evidence, actually, just interpreting it differently.
So Digital Dan with ace-8 suited under the gun.
He's
a
limping.
limp. I was gonna say this is close, and he's playing it as if it's close. Wonka just lets it go.
He's worried about the limp re-raise for sure. It's kind of a weird fold. You could limp if you Wonka.
You can raise, and then if he re-raises, you decide to fold sometimes.
Yeah.
Or even call because you're in position. Depending on how he sizes it.
Felt a little tight.
That feels like a mistake. Wonka rarely makes pre-flop mistakes. I think that was one.
Then have a dead stack.
I'm down.
Got an 8 for Dan and for Carter.
Top pair for the Terminator, though.
Oh, I didn't even see that. 9 deuce for Terminator, of course.
Of course. He's also got the backdoor flush draw. Terminator's got to bet this. Too many players in.
I think he's going to get action from Dan at least.
He should.
And Charlie. Charlie's going to call with 2 backdoors.
Yep. And ace high, which is no good if he hits it.
Dan might fold now.
You know what? Oh, if he folded, this would have been a genius call by Charlie. Not really.
No.
But
it would not have been.
Of course not.
How much is it? I think it's $80, right?
I hope you guys both have that. That would be hilarious.
But it was only 45 anyway. Dan's always going to call.
I feel like this game's just getting going.
Well, that would have been 2 pair for Carter. But he's gone. He's showing off the bling.
Will Terminator bet again?
This is a really bad card. Jack 10 got there. And now there's a 4 straight on the board.
It's probably just going to check through.
Probably, unless Charlie takes a shot.
Oh, Charlie's the guy who could bluff it. He's the guy. Nope, but it does check through.
Not really sure why Charlie called the flop there.
It was so cheap. That's all. I got nothing.
Doesn't feel like the right board for the old ace-3 call with 4 players behind.
Yeah, even for 45, it does not. I agree.
Come back.
Fuck, I should have comboed that.
But that's what makes poker interesting. People make different kinds of decisions. If everyone made the same decisions as us, it wouldn't be so interesting for us to watch.
True. So do you think the Nitrogen Sports logo, do you think the N requires those 2 shapes around it to hold it gravitationally there, or else it would fall out of place?
I don't think it's about gravitational stuff. I think it's about containing it because otherwise it'll burst out.
Is it like magnets?
No, it's not magnets. It's just straight up. It's like a prison.
that makes me feel sad for the N.
Well, you don't know what the N did to get there, do you? So let's not be so sure you're
How
sad.
small its cell is. It's got nowhere to go.
Yeah. It's like solitary confinement for that N.
Extreme confinement.
Well, maybe it should have thought about what it did before it did it.
You ever watch that show Solitary?
I don't know what that is.
It was a reality show on some bad channel where people would just be in solitary confinement and see who could stay the longest.
That sounds weird. Was
Carter
it good?
flops top pair. I don't think so.
Digital Dan's going to bet his 7 high just to see if he can get Carter to fold, and it will not work.
They had some challenges and stuff, too, every couple days. But
what kind of challenges?
I don't know, like eat a slug or something. I don't know. Carter checks again. Dan's done with it.
Dan Rivers a 6.
No, he doesn't.
Carter Rivers a 6.
Which is meaningless.
Dan's going to have to... Well, it's only 20.
Oh, Dan already folded. 20 to call with 7 high? Is that what you're...
No, he could raise is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is Carter going to call a raise? I don't know. If Dan makes it 110, I don't know if he's going to call a raise.
I don't know if he is either. I don't know if it's a plus EV play to raise though.
Well, if we knew if he was going to call, we'd know if it was a plus EV
We
play
would
to
know.
raise.
We would know.
Yeah.
We would know the exact expected value.
That's all I want.
I'll give you guys 10.
I think I would bet it. I think I would raise it because I'm guessing it's worth $1 or $2.
Okay.
So let's go.
Gotta get that value.
How about you give me 10, I'll give you 5. How about
All right, Wonka's probably not going to fold this ace jack.
I mean,
right?
if he folds this one, it's time just to go home. Fold it.
Let's do it. I'm enjoying watching you two
Raise to
lose.
35.
What are we playing?
I don't know what Terminator's thinking about. Wanting to play every hand, I guess.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking about. It would be fun to play this one. That's what he's thinking. What if a king comes? You know, that's
Yeah.
what he's probably thinking. So he's with the king 5 suited in the small blind, and he is. Is he calling?
That is kind of weird.
It's a little bit. I don't like that, especially against Wonka's under the gun
Yeah,
range.
it's a little loose there.
As we see, he will be in big trouble if he gets some of the flops he's thinking about. He does not.
There's a 4 for Ryan.
There's a gut shot for digital.
Wonka, of course, flops top pair with a pretty good kicker. Against 2 players, it's relatively wet. Probably should be betting.
Yeah, like 70 or something.
Looks like
55.
55, yeah.
It's a little small, but it's not going to matter, I don't think. Because Ryan's not really going to call with just a 4, is he?
He could, but...
I mean, he call once, I guess, and see what Wonka does.
He's really thinking about it. Might he raise? He's looking raisey.
Whoa, he's reaching deep. He's gonna. Looks like he's gonna turn his.
This is kind of cool.
His second pair into a raise right away, into a bluff right away.
That's kind of cool because it's like a
Wow.
semi-bluff. You know, he has equity, but he's usually behind.
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, when Wonka calls, he knows he's behind. When Wonka folds, he might have been ahead. But he can fold out some of Wonka's better hands, too.
True. I'm thinking of it less as, like, who cares about the value. It's more like a semi-bluff, like you have a straight draw or something.
Sure, I hear you. He's got 4s and kings, basically. Well, that's a card that Wonka's not going to like.
No, Ryan can rep, like, the deuce X of clubs now. He did come out of the big blind, so he has all of the deuce X of clubs in his range.
He does not actually bet it, but I got to believe Wonka's going to check this back.
Yeah.
Ryan can still have sets and 2 pairs and things like that, even after checking right there.
Yeah, it's going to be tougher for him to win the hand having not put a bet in on a turn, though.
It's tougher, but that was a scare card. Although Wonka almost never has a deuce in his hand, having said that.
Yeah, pretty much never.
So will Ryan take a shot? No.
No, he just gives up.
Will Wonka go for value?
He might put Ryan on a weak ace for some reason, but I don't think there's a reason to do that.
It's hard to get called even by a weak ace after the way the hand's played out, and Ryan could have a weak 2 pair.
5.
You checking back?
Wait, how are you not in here?
Ryan's played some hands unusually.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's fun to see.
I like it.
It's like auto saves all the photos from all my devices.
Oh my god, that's so sad.
I like to think Ryan was doing that for the right reasons, the kind of like semi-bluff type of reasons, whereas, you know, 8 or 9 years ago, you'd see a lot of players check raising top pair because they don't know what to do. They're
Right.
trying to find out where they are, and that's
Exactly.
not a good reason to do it.
No.
And
Like-
I don't know, Ryan might have been doing that considering he checked turn and river, but I like to give him a little bit of credit based on the creativity he's shown so far.
I think the 5 was a card he just decided to shut down on because he thought it was hard to rep a real hand.
Yeah,
Then. Like,
yeah,
is he
that's-
not? Is he really? I mean, he actually really might be betting sets on that turn because Wonka's under the gun range, but you know. He probably thinks he's just not betting that much of his check raise value there.
Yep.
So, and then he thought, oh, now I'm going to get called by Wonka's ace on the river. Here's another ace jack suited.
Under the gun once again, and this time it's a limp.
Huh.
Not gonna make that same mistake again.
What's that?
Swear to God, I have you in here.
Yes.
Another good flop for ace jack.
But Joseph's just going to win the $15 from the small and big blind. That's going to be that.
So Joseph basically wins no extra money and has to actually win, like flop well to do it. That's not great.
I think it's not a huge
It's
deal.
not great.
It's not a huge deal.
All right. You guys is fine.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me that, like, there's all this limping we're seeing in this. Like, under the gun in early position limping. We've seen it from queens. We've seen it from ace jack suited. Wonka did it with 8s and ace jack off.
Yeah.
Now you gotta pass it around to everybody.
Some strange stuff going on. Carter limped once in early position.
No, we just thought he did. It turned out he raised.
Okay.
Carter always raises. Carter's the guy who just is always raising and betting.
Oh, I'm wearing your glasses.
Somebody else's. No, what glasses am I wearing?
It would just, you know,
Somebody else's.
the dialogue works.
Will Terminator play this? We'll know if he's in full termination mode if he plays this under the gun.
He loves playing the 8-7 off, and there it is. This may be his favorite hand.
Yeah. Well, termination mode engage.
How did I choke? Do you remember
Is Charlie playing the ace 7 off? He is.
Look, it looks like our action tracker person assumed Charlie was folding when it saw his hand, but no, Charlie did.
You mean Stephanie, who's definitely getting fired after this episode?
Stephanie, we haven't completely decided. You can't tell her that until it's over. She could ruin the show. Never tell them,
Stephanie.
Never tell them until the show's over.
Maybe if you get us bear claws by the time the episode ends, then you can keep the job.
That would go a long way to salving this wound.
Anyway, Charlie's in the pot with ace 7 off. We don't know what Carter has. Maybe nothing. He might be there in place of Charlie.
We'll know soon.
And Charlie doesn't flop anything. Neither does anybody.
Carter is in the hand.
Carter
as
is in
well.
the hand. He's just not on the screen there.
Lots of disaster type things happening here.
Stephanie is reaching Jackson levels.
Man, maybe we have to pay people.
All right, Wonka has top pair. Very likely to be the best hand unless Carter has a better top pair.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Possible, but unlikely.
Terminator going to take a shot here. It's really not going to work out.
Carter? Whoa.
Carter might have king, queen or something.
Yeah. Could have diamonds, too.
Wonka's probably still supposed to call.
He does have diamonds. I think Wonka is supposed to call.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, ace 9 of diamonds.
And Wonka looks like he agrees with us. Joseph's going to fold, and the question is, how is this whole thing going to play out? We got Terminator drawing dead. Is Carter going to take a shot at it if it checks to him? I was assuming he was going to brick, and indeed he did.
Good guess.
Most of the time he bricks.
Yeah.
Wonka checks. Oh, Terminator's going to take another shot.
This might work.
Yeah.
He's repping ace queen, basically.
He sizes it 2/3 of the pot, so I like the sizing. It looks real.
Looks like ace queen.
Maybe king queen.
Maybe a little bit of king queen.
But it feels like value.
Right now.
Oh.
He bet into 2 players also. I don't know if Wonka's going to be able to find a call here.
It is important.
Wonka is rewatching Roadhouse in his head right now.
All right, so Wonka is a 5'10 pro. He's been in this spot a lot against probably Terminator among many, many other players of Terminator's ilk.
Looks like he's letting it go.
The proper play is to fold. I think he's probably right, but nice play by Terminator.
He really goes for it, and it works out.
Nice hand.
On the...
It's a good feeling when you really go for it and it works out.
Yeah, 8 high for Terminator. No equity. Drawing dead on the turn. Bets turn and river. Gets it through 2 players. That's strong.
Free rolling life.
Not liking the 3.
Over there. Not just free rolling life into
It's all the same.
every cast.
I ace 9 of diamonds, so I
Right
was
now.
not with. I don't think.
Not you.
Went the wrong way.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, ex-wife. Hold on.
How did she know you were talking about it?
I don't know.
Did you text her?
Nope.
Well, that's how
Nope,
that's how
never
phones
did.
work. Like,
Do you
just
still
always
have-
listening, just automatically.
She goes,
send a
do you
message
still
like,
have Amazon Prime?
Oh, look at this. Batiste in the middle of a conversation has got 2 aces. How is he going to play it?
Charlie already folds, making it easy for Batiste to know he can get away with the raise here.
Yeah.
See if anyone picks up anything. Last time we saw aces, there was a cooler.
Big time.
Folds to the Terminator, who has a hand.
All right. This isn't quite a cooler, but it's going to hurt on certain flops.
A queen high board or an ace high board could start to... Actually, an ace queen high board, that would be a cooler.
Well, yeah.
Just saying. And yes!
Oh, this is bad news for the Terminator.
Terminator sometimes will raise on boards like this, too. We see.
Oh, he looks like he's just going to lead.
Is it 50?
50 into 75, yeah.
He's with the world's easiest call.
He could raise.
He could.
Wouldn't be crazy to raise.
Nope. But it's okay to call. Being in position and all.
Doesn't love the jack.
Can't love it, but never going to fold.
Yeah.
Terminator, I think if I was Terminator and I had decided to bet the flop, I would certainly bet this turn.
I don't think you can bet 3 streets, though, if Batiste calls again.
Then you're just trying to get called by king, queen exactly. Maybe queen 10 suited sometimes.
Yeah, it's pretty thin. It's pretty thin.
Oh, ace jack of hearts. Oh, well, never
Not
mind
anymore.
on that.
Well, now Batiste is pretty much hating the run out.
No. Oh, yeah. No, because now queen jack he's beating.
Right, but the hearts are a little scarier even than
it's
the
a
queen
small
jack.
bet, though, and he calls right away.
Yeah.
Terminator bets half pot.
Nice disguise, bud.
I like
I
one
mean,
of
there's
the,
no where can I raise this? I can't. You let him flop.
I like one of those.
I could have lost a lot more money with
This is
top
true.
right there.
Good lead.
Terminator's trying to needle him a little bit, I think. I do that sometimes, too. It doesn't look so good, though. I'm going to stop doing it.
It looks a little petty.
Yeah. When I do it, it is. I don't know where Terminator's coming from. It's a little petty for me, for sure, when I do it. I'm saying, you could have played it better, sucker. That's what's really, it's not cool. I'm going to stop doing it. It's like saving face or something. It's lame. All right. Me and everyone listening, let's not do that anymore.
All right.
All of us who do
Levy
that.
has learned and grown from this episode.
Yeah, it's good.
We did it, guys.
Okay, we're done? Are we done? The intervention worked.
We should be done. We'd be much more efficient if it weren't for Stephanie.
Did Charlie raise blind here? I think he raised blind.
Yeah, I think this is a blind raise at 20. Really pretty good hand for a blind raise.
Yeah.
That's dead, right?
Is
that dead?
Your mouth is dead. Let's go.
It's always dead. 100% of the time it's dead.
No straddles in Portland.
Terminator's supposed to know that. Joseph is going to just call.
Yeah, seems like a good spot for a raise, but Terminator's going to raise with the 4s, which makes a lot of sense.
It really does. Usually he's going to be able to isolate Joseph and sometimes just win it all right now, which is fine.
110.
He goes big. I like it.
Batiste needs to call here because Terminator and him are both very deep.
Yeah.
Little set miney time. Oh, he's going to actually turn his hand into a pre-flop bluff.
Charlie pulls the $20 back. Okay, he's joking. Joseph has to fold now as well, and
Terminator does have to call.
Yeah, they're just too deep.
And now this is going to be interesting. Usually it's going to be a bunch of overcards to both pairs.
Two Stellas, please. Yeah.
It is.
This is Batiste's hand to win now.
Batiste is the guy who's got ace-king a lot more than Terminator does. Terminator has pocket nines and does have some kings. I think this is a pretty easy bet for Batiste, especially with deuces.
There's literally...
Yeah, the Terminator has a lot of pocket pairs that are going to have to fold.
Yep, you want to fold out those. You want to fold out the ace-queens of the world. And he does fold the slightly better pair here.
That's a cool way to play deuces there.
Yep.
Highest chip count.
Ooh, at king 9. I think I win.
Wouldn't you want to do the opposite?
I think I win.
Elaborate.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you rather your opponent potentially not know what's in the pot?
Here we go with the not knowing thing.
All right, so when Nick is betting, he does not want his opponents to understand their equity.
I don't understand when Nick's betting anyway.
I don't disagree.
Sounds like Batiste and Charlie are having a bit of a
pick on Nick session,
mishmashed conversation.
Yeah, that too.
It's a full pajama outfit.
Did you get the bottoms for half off, or
Nick is of course Wonka.
Yeah.
Wait.
God, I would.
Now you may say Carter, and you're like, oh, is that like for Coach Carter? No, that's his name. His name is actually Carter. Someone named him Carter.
What are you? It's such a weird thing to say. Carter's a pretty normal name.
Yeah, I guess it is.
And that,
He's actually a very nice guy too.
And Coach Carter is an inspiring movie that should be watched by all.
I've never seen Coach Carter.
Well, that's why you are so uninspired, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe that's why. It could be why.
Batiste turn.
He bet the flop.
Charlie calls 25 more with Queen 4 off. I guess he was in the big blind.
Don't you want to see a coming-of-age movie about overcoming the obstacles of modern society, featuring a strong leading performance by Samuel L. Jackson?
Rather than talk about that, but Terminator once again plays the 8-7 off for a raise. I think this is literally his favorite hand.
It must be.
Because he always plays this hand.
It says Charlie bet 55, but that's not true.
It's a lie.
Charlie checked, Terminator bet 55, and everybody folded.
That $70 is going to the Terminator. Please update your scorecards.
Yeah,
everyone.
You guys can handle that at home.
Yeah. And if not, you have bigger problems than this.
Yeah, huge problems.
Back to Coach Carter. So Samuel L. Jackson.
Strong performance.
Who else was in it?
Channing Tatum.
Really?
Yeah.
Young Channing Tatum?
Young Channing. He wasn't even like one of the stars. He was just kind of, he was like probably the 6th build cast.
Anyone else? Who's the love interest?
I don't really remember it that well. But there were kids.
What?
There are inner city kids, and they have struggles and troubles.
Yeah.
And the hard-nosed coach comes in to really show them what's what, and they bond together as a team. And I don't want to spoil anything, but things go pretty well in the end.
I like that movie the first time I saw it when it was called Remember the Titans. Okay, moving on. Was it a football team?
No, it was basketball.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then
Yeah.
That's fine.
Make it more. Not you. Not me, I meant you.
But he's limping on the button with the ace-6 off. That's unusual.
People are just getting weird.
Yep. We are in the last
20-ish minutes.
Yeah, so Carter flops best with the 7 deuce off.
There's a gut shot for Charlie.
Batiste would have probably just won this.
Batiste is going to overcall.
Well, it's only $10.
Thoughts for Muscala. Where's Muscala taking you?
Will Batiste take a shot? He will. Okay, this is part of the overcall plan. It's not just a hit an ace. It's a good card to bet if you're Batiste.
Probably going to work, right? Unless Carter really wants to win with 7 deuce. Sometimes people love winning with 7 deuce.
I don't think Carter's one of those types of people, though.
Yeah.
Batiste shows the 6. Then everyone thinks he's got king 6 suited, and he doesn't.
No.
Tricky, tricky.
So very tricky. We should watch Coach Carter later. Get some pizza. Watch Coach Carter. You know what I'm saying?
I'm in. I'll tell you what, I'm in. Maybe we could do a inspirational sports movie marathon. Alive. That was a football team, soccer team, right?
Okay, I never actually saw that.
Oh, it's really good.
Okay.
Really good. Not really about sports.
Field of Dreams.
Field of Dreams, fantastic. Bull Durham.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Can we do Major League, even though it's not really inspiring?
Absolutely, it's great.
I love Major League.
Also, Victory, Sylvester Stallone and Pele.
Oh, I never saw that.
It's a great World War II era soccer movie.
What about Miracle?
I never saw that.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Okay. How about the one where the plane goes down and everyone dies? Marshall with Matthew McConaughey, maybe?
I don't think I saw that one.
Oh, we got to see that. All the people.
All right. So Batiste raises to 35. Charlie calls Jack 9 suited. So far, these are normal things. Carter's going to fold the King 3 suited.
Digital Dan out with the Queen 8 off. Really?
A good call there, but I guess the session is
okay. Whatever.
Down.
Digital Dan doesn't want to lose any more big pots.
That's a good flop for Charlie and Batiste. There could be fireworks here.
There should be fireworks here.
He's literally looking at me like, why aren't you betting your jacks right now, Jack?
Wow.
Wow.
He's right. Why aren't you betting your jacks right now, Charlie? Batiste bets $10. Can't let him do that.
This is forced to call here, even though it's kind of scary.
There should be a lot more money in this pot. 9 of diamonds, though, for the win. Nope, that's going to do it. So Charlie gets 1 street of value instead of at least 2.
He bet 300 on the river.
I'm not sure what he hopes to get called by when he bets 300.
I had king eye diamonds.
Oh!
I had king eye diamonds.
Wow. Sit him for an orbit.
Well, I'll donate to that game.
Did Batiste look at the second card?
I think he did.
That's not cool, man.
Not cool at all. Not cool at all. They are friends, and I guess Charlie didn't really care, but also not cool at all, especially in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
If it's the last hand, maybe it's okay. Even then, it's not okay. In fairness, they all know this show is going to be shown, and like everyone is going to know that card. So that makes it a little bit better.
That's true.
But still, not cool at all. Batiste, we're calling you out.
Lord of Denim no more. More like Duke of Denim now.
Well, Earl of Denim.
Demotion.
May I present to you the Earl of Denim?
What is that guy called? The guy who presents people.
He is the presenter.
Ah.
The royal presenter.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Joseph's going to open it up with the ace-3 of hearts.
No more limping for Joseph.
Terminator playing the ace-5 off, wants to play the hands.
Yep, he knows time is running short, and he wants to get it in there. Apparently, Charlie feels the same with the Queen Deuce suited.
Digital Dan with 4.5K in front of him, but it's still a losing session for him so far.
Indeed. He's going to need to hit something pretty quickly.
Like
A non-drinker.
He'd be like, oh, and guess what? I'm from Florida because of my hat.
Whoa. Some serious laughter there. 2 pair for Digital Dan.
Scary board with so many players, with Joseph having the nut flush draw, so.
These guys could mix it up.
Yeah. I don't know if Dan is going to raise or call here. What would you do?
I think I do some raising here for the most part. I mean, what are you're not losing to too much. Joseph raised pre, so it's pocket 10s and once in a while 8-9 suited.
Yep.
That's it.
And the 2 combos of 7s and 6s that remain, of course.
Of course. There is a problem, of course, if you're Digital Dan and you raise and Joseph re-raises.
You pretty much have to fold.
You often have, this could be part of your folding range, yeah. But he does put in the raise. Joseph cannot fold. The question is, how's he going to play it?
And if Joseph takes a flush draw and turns it into a 3-bet, it shows that the raise might have not been the best idea.
Assuming Dan actually does fold.
Correct.
Dan may not.
Correct.
Dan has held on before in spots where I know you and I would have folded. Like, he bets the turn with an overpair, gets raised, and calls. He does that. People used to take shots at him all the time on this show early on. He would always hold on with queens and was almost always right, too. Like, he usually was ahead.
Joseph going to make the call.
Yep. I like just calling here. Dan can have the nuts really easily.
Yeah, definitely.
That's wow. It's going to make it tougher for Joseph now, but it does give him some extra outs at least.
Gives him significant extra outs. It also might scare Dan a little bit. Ace-10 got there.
I mean, that's it. I think you have to bet as Dan. I mean, if you check, he's going to bet anyway. You might as well charge all the other things. The hearts.
Joseph is pretty aware that he's likely to be behind. Of course, Dan could have a combo draw here like king, queen, or king, jack of hearts still.
The question for Joseph is not about what to do here. This is a pretty clear call when the ace comes. It's about what to do on a brick river if Dan bets a reasonable amount. Dan bet pretty small on the turn.
Ooh, and that's going to ruin Dan's day.
Terrible card for the digital one. Now, Dan could absolutely have trip 10s, but Joseph could easily have a 10 also. And Dan knows he's been counterfeited most of the time when Joseph doesn't have a 10.
Yeah, Joseph has a lot of nut flush draws that just got there.
Yep. Or if he has like some queens and kings and stuff.
Internet thing.
Oh, okay. Those hands are not bad.
Running good, Dan. 6-7 here. That's so good for me.
Those are both quite reasonable hands. Okay.
Okay, now is everybody want to do that?
That was a Wonka-approved hand.
It tells you what Wonka thinks about everyone when he says, those are both quite reasonable hands.
Yeah. Like, good job, guys.
You did it. You walked on your own.
It's probably going to be the
2-9, 2 kings gone.
True.
I don't know what to do.
Not like just only if it's post flop.
Only
I don't want to get shoved on.
Right.
Okay.
How do you not have a
You might check
fuzzy
10
thing on your microphone right now?
Uh-oh, you lost it.
These guys are.
That's a charge.
Oh my god, it is.
So we're playing. We have to show our
beard is, like,
hands if we
scraping
win.
right
If
now.
it's post flop only.
Guess whose mic's getting cut off?
Okay. New thing.
All right, showing the hands if they win post-flop.
That takes care of the Batiste looking at Charlie's cards.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah,
We can
but
tell them they gotta stand on their
inside your
head.
mind, you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
Deep down inside, you wish we didn't have to. Tell the truth.
These are good reads.
Don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
No chop. No bubble.
I'm Mr. Go with the flow.
I have to do it because they're all doing
I know.
it. Charlie, you're plugged in?
It is kind of cool because doing this, there's only a little bit of time left in this session, but doing this, if this was a 3-hour session or a 4-hour session from the beginning, would really affect things.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone knows what everyone else is doing.
We don't see a flop, we're just going to keep it moving.
It might make you choose to play hands differently early on so that you could deceive later.
Or vice versa. Either way, you sort of have to zig after you've been zagging, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever you've been doing the first hour and everyone got to see, mostly you should start to do the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Bluff more or bluff less.
Every time I raise, I don't always have a good hand.
The good news is you know what your image is.
Yeah, I inferred that.
They're pretty good at keeping the clock accurate.
You think you do, at least.
Okay, that's true. You have a sense of what you have. You know what the data that they're getting is. How about that?
Yeah.
So that's good. But yeah, it would really change things up. It's a good dynamic. We should do that in a future poker time.
If the players agree, sounds good.
And then check full bluff.
We could just force them. Like the way I forced them to wear their hats backward.
Yeah.
I can make them do it.
You did.
You think Terminator wanted to look like that? Digital Dan.
By the time I hop in, there's like
Raised to 35.
He wants to be able to go home and say, I won that pot at the end.
With the king and the 8.
Well, he did. We're not done yet, though. There's a few hands left.
Yeah,
It's still there.
But if I am in the pot, the information is provided.
It's always interesting to me how the players decide to play at the end. Sometimes you see everyone sort of tighten up and just limp in and something. Sometimes you see someone really wanting to go for it and win a big pot and just like push as hard as they can, try and get back to even or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it creates some weird dynamics. I'd say usually they more go like looser and more passive, but it depends on the lineup. And Ryan is someone we haven't seen, and Carter either in these situations. So Charlie either, now that I think about it. And Batiste has aces.
Good time to
Again.
have aces. Near the end of the session, people are more likely to play hands for the most part. As we see Charlie calling with the 8-5 suited +1.
You don't want like 6 players to call, though, with your aces.
No.
You want like 2.
You don't want to have a bomb pot with aces. Yeah.
No.
Joseph just folds the ace 10
Wow.
off.
Good job, Joseph.
Yeah.
That's the right play.
It is.
And Terminator's going to call with the 5 deuce, and here we go.
Good news for Batiste is Charlie and Terminator are sharing cards.
Every day.
You guys whispering each other during a hand?
Whole lot of nothing for everyone but Batiste. I guess 2 backdoors for Charlie, but don't expect he's going to call here.
Yeah, I think this is just going to be the end.
It's only 60. He is in position. It would have been crazy to call, hoping that Terminator folds and then he'd have position and try and steal it later. But
Batiste did show the aces. Don't know if you guys caught that.
All right.
What is it?
1, 2.
For the night song.
Oh, we're not doing 4 hours?
All right.
Just Google WHAM.
looks like the players are just learning now that we're ending. They didn't know we were finishing up here.
Yeah, there was an announcement. There are 4 hands left. So we will see if that changes how they play. I think the VPIP is just generally going to go up when you know exactly the number of hands that are remaining.
I think so too. I'm not a fan of when everyone just starts limping though. Charlie's going to blind raise, so it costs more to limp anyway.
Yeah, maybe that'll help.
And don't forget to tip your dealers.
So Charlie,
especially you.
You can forget about that.
Don't have to worry about me.
You can totally forget about that.
Before we what?
Talk about tip.
Oh, by
Joseph's got a nice hand here. King, queen of diamonds.
Stop.
just a tip in your.
Raise to 70, fold.
Got it.
Fold. There was 20 in there.
I didn't think that was a thing.
I'm
Sorry.
sorry. He folded.
Winner. What do you got?
That was quick and easy.
He doesn't have to show, but he does. Shows the king, queen of diamonds. Doesn't really reveal anything to say I raised king, queen of diamonds on the button.
It's true. It reveals that you had a darn good hand. That's what it reveals.
The best good hand, or the second best good hand.
Yeah. I mean, what's ace jack suited?
That's
the better. That's better.
That's the best good hand.
That's the best good hand. Number two is.
I don't know. I feel like king queen suited might be better than ace 10 suited.
It is.
Yeah.
It clearly is. I really I don't know why I know what you're talking about, but I actually get it and agree with you. Maybe because the 10 isn't good enough when you hit the 10.
Yeah.
But the kings and the queens, they're good. That's good. Come on. You know.
Well, Digital Dan's definitely got four hands left itis here.
Easier to make straights also with the king queen. Digital Dan is not just going to win it. Charlie's going to defend, understandably.
9-5 of diamonds. Let's go.
Definitely not out.
Definitely.
I mean, he's like,
Big miss.
Good flop for Dan.
I expect this hand will be over momentarily. We'll have
going to have to show his ugly hand.
Well, it's okay. There's two hands left. Who cares?
Yeah. But the pride might hurt.
Batiste is such a big winner in this game.
Yeah, he's really crushing it.
Charlie and Digital Dan and Joseph are just funding everybody.
Yeah, they've all had a bit of a rough time here.
Yep. Terminator doing quite well. Wonka doing fine.
A lot of that from coolers. Charlie and Dan on the wrong end of the same cooler against Batiste.
Yeah.
Which is why Batiste has so much. And Joseph, of course, on the wrong end of a cooler against Digital Dan. Just imagine how much Digital Dan would be down without that cooler.
Yeah. We saw he was down, what, 4,500 or something?
Yeah, so that was rough.
Yep.
It's better now. Still hurts a little.
I think it always hurts. All losses hurt at least a little bit.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. I lose $10. I'm a little bit annoyed. Unless I've been down like 2,000 and then I'm only down 10, then I'm happy. You know.
I don't think all losses hurt for me. The same way they do for you, but most do.
Yeah.
Most do. I don't mind losing a $5 sports bet or whatever.
Oh, no, that I don't mind. I'm actually pretty cool with that. Oh, it depends on, how I'm doing financially.
That makes sense. We got an open ender against middle pair here with a backdoor nut flush draw. Charlie's going to bet. Carter will just call.
Ooh, good card for Charlie.
It's a card that Carter might want to rep, too.
Yep, he absolutely could. Charlie did bet it, though. He only bet 50.
Carter just makes the call.
He just doesn't want to blow Carter off, but Carter's got the exact kind of hand that you'd want to charge.
Charlie bets 125. Oh, 250.
Charlie really sizing it up now.
I guess
out of nowhere.
Some of those chips.
Well, the hearts missed. All the draws missed, so. Oh, that's interesting.
I know I had 4-3 or 4-7. I was like, one or the other.
We obviously didn't have 3-4.
Huh. Do you think that's true that Carter knew he had an open ender but didn't know which one it was?
I kind of believe him. Why would he lie about that?
Yeah.
It doesn't make him look good. It doesn't make him look like, in fairness, he's been drinking.
Yeah.
So he's just a jolly guy. But I like that he shares stuff like that, instead of like I'm the kind of guy who would might text that to you but not tell anyone else, But he just tells everyone. He doesn't care.
I thought I was making such a good deal.
Ryan has a blind raise. This is the last hand, I believe.
Is it? Okay.
Well, we said 4 hands. I think this is the 4th hand.
Yeah, the button was supposed to end on Charlie, so I think you're right.
We'll know soon enough. But yeah, Charlie was just in the small blind.
All right. It's been a fun journey, guys.
Indeed it has.
We'll continue it next week with a new session, of course.
New session, new players.
A lot of the same players, though.
But some new players.
Yeah.
Are you the best?
Not the exact same lineup.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Probably not.
I mean, I doubt it.
I did not know.
This was a good lineup, though.
Yeah, this was fun. Fun session.
And here we go. Here's everybody getting involved because it's the last hand.
Not Carter. Gonna let the 9-3 off go.
And everyone is effectively limping, by the way, as we talked about.
Yeah.
But
Joseph's got the only real hand out of the whole bunch.
Yeah. Joseph could have just taken this down, but now he's letting the whole world in. And here we are. But the pot is surprisingly big because of the blind raise. And
A 10 for Joseph, and nobody
That
has
is
a
it.
king.
Is there diamonds for anyone? So many hands.
No.
No.
Joseph's not going to think he has the best hand that often, but at least some of the time.
When it checks through, he's going to feel a lot better about it.
Charlie has a 6. Does he want to bet it?
That's what he's thinking. It's reasonable to bet, Charlie, but he looks like he checks. Yeah, he does. I fell for it because of Stephanie giving us the camera shot too soon.
There's a scare card, and it's a straight
It's not
flush
just
draw.
It's a straight for the
Oh,
Terminator.
it's a straight for Terminator with a straight flush draw, and Batiste has the other straight flush draw with a 9 of diamonds.
Wow, wee wah, wee wah.
So-
It's time to put some money in this pot, Terminator.
Digital Dan, by the way, has the queen of diamonds.
Don't know if that's going to be good enough to call with.
I don't think it
this,
is.
With 6 players in this hand.
No, I think it's a pretty clear fold.
Yeah.
And I fold the board with a king 10.
Just
for the memory.
Batiste did call. He only can hit a diamond to win.
7 to chop.
7 to chop, that's true. As we see up top, he's got 9 outs total. That is the diamond to win.
Yep. Batiste just running good this episode. Look at that. 6.3K in front of him, and it's about to go up a little bit.
I think he's going to probably check this back.
There's not a ton of
Close.
value in betting here.
There's the queen, the jack, and the ace.
All right, so
Yeah.
Batiste gets to win the last hand, and our big winner is Batiste. We're going to get to see pretty soon. Stephanie! Stephanie! God, what is she doing?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, Stephanie, come on. We're gonna get to see
You're fired.
the cumulative winnings pretty
Okay,
soon
good.
here. Stephanie,
Put the winnings up at least before you leave and pack
this
your
is
bags. Thank
okay.
you.
There you go, Stephanie. All right, so as we see, Batiste did very well here.
Yeah.
Charlie, Digital Dan, Joseph had a bit of a painful time, but Batiste, one of the biggest winners in any session in Poker Time history.
It's true. It's right
We'll
up
see.
there.
We'll see if he can keep it going. I'm not sure if he's playing next week,
Well,
but
we'll
we'll see if
find out.
somebody can next week with some more Poker Time.